Hello, my Mercurial mercenaries. This is just going to be a video of me talking. And I think I've realised that what's the USP of this channel? I've tried to go over it before, what it really is, and it's me just talking to you. It's one of those time-waster videos where if you want to have a cup of tea, think about leaving the ass, this is the sort of video you can put on. This is your Mercurial number 6. As an aside, I have a new album, my mercenaries. Still in the cellophane, I have King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I'm in Your Mind, Fuzz! Which I think is the first album in the trilogy, which is this album, which I haven't yet listened to, then this album, and then it ends with this album. So I listened to this album first, and then I listened to this album, and then I'm going to listen to this album. So, arse about face, my mercenaries. Basically was what we're saying here. We're basically describing, in reality, the phrase, the idea of just talking to the camera. And there's some big YouTubers out there who are in a bit of trouble at the moment. I want to just talk about one. Now, most of the people who watched my channel at the beginning were mainly into guitars and things, because that's a little bit the way I sold it, which is kind of what I want to talk about here. The Angry Joe Show. You probably don't watch this channel, it's a gaming channel. This is a guy who started off years ago making quite comedic, quite high quality gaming reviews. That was his raison d'etre. That's what he did. Just like in the early days, I did guitar related shenanigans. And what's happened is over the years, he's drifted from that a little. He still does it, but he's branched out. He'll do movie reviews and he'll just do talks to camera. Now his fan base aren't particularly happy. They want him to do what he's best known for. And recently, he said he wanted to take a break for a couple of months. And this brings up another issue, where I think people who watch YouTube videos, and I can disassociate myself from all of this because I'm so low in the YouTube thing that I'm practically, well, I am non-existent. I'm a speck of dust on a dead albatross's foot. But I think people watch a YouTube video and they think it's easy to do one. It's easy to do YouTube. You just sit in front of a camera and talk shit. And they think that's easy. And what Angry Joe has been trying to say, and also Boogie 298888888888888888888, big guy, who's been talking about Angry Joe today as well. What they've been saying is, and what I understand, I do it myself, even though I can't mention it because I'm just a sack of dust on a pelican's foot who's been eaten by dead albatross. When you watch a 5-minute video on YouTube, it doesn't mean it took 5 minutes to make. Anyone out there who makes videos knows that. Angry Joe, he does video reviews, video game reviews rather, and some of his reviews are like 45 minutes long. And they will take him hours. And even I know that through some of the videos I've made. I've mentioned it again and again, but when I did the video with Bill in Philadelphia, the end result, I think it's an hour and a half. You could watch through it, you probably flick through it. In fact, well, we'll move on to that in a minute. The fact that no one watches it. We'll move on to that in a minute. But an hour and a half video, that particular hour and a half video, took me hours and hours and hours. If I'd been paid for it, it would have cost thousands of pounds. And then you've got the problem that when you do invest all those hours into a video, it will be those videos that you invested all your time and effort into, they'll be the ones that no one watches. And then the video that you just make, you just switch the camera on and talk shit, that'll be the one that everyone watches. But even then, like I just said, it doesn't mean that that video that you just supposedly threw together was easy, because nothing's easy in this world. Either, it's hard to get it right, either everything's easy or nothing's easy. I'm not sure which one it is. But this Angry Joe guy, he's been on YouTube for 9 years or so, and he's been making these videos and churning them out. And recently, For the big YouTubers, I can say I'm just one of you. I'm not including myself in this YouTubers thing. I'm just one of you. I'm just talking to the camera. I just happen to be here talking to camera. But doing a video once a month isn't enough anymore. You've got to do a video once a week, once a day, preferably, to ensnare and to keep your audience. And Angry Joe was doing this, like I said before, by branching out a bit. Doing some videos that didn't take quite as much effort, although we still took effort. So, recently he announced he was going to have a couple of months off. And his fan base, his subscribership, went ballistic. They're calling him the Lazy Joe. Lazy Joe. And just to show this in action, here's Social Blade, right? So this is the Angry Joe show. He's a big YouTuber, as you can see. He's got 2.8 million. I'm going to destroy the world unless they pay me 1 million. He's got 2.8 million subscribers. Estimated yearly earnings. Look. Look. He earns a proper wage from this shit. However, detailed statistics. If it's the word, click the mouse button. I'd whack it. And when you whack something, it doesn't do what... It's counterintuitive, isn't it? Sometimes if you whack something, it doesn't do what you want it to do. You need to cajole. You need to just... That worked. Here's his subscribers, look. Look at this. Look at this. In June. What's it now? July. In June. Wednesday. Up 514. Next day, 361. 404. 469. 294. 144. Hundreds per day. Hundreds. Announces he's going to have a couple of months off. Oh, you lazy bastard! Down 200, down 200, down 100, 300, 24, 498, 500, 700, 900. One day alone, 1,392 down, 430 down. In awe, I watched the waxing moon ride across the zenith of the heavens like an ambered chariot towards the ebony void of infinite space, wherein the tethered belts of Jupiter and Mars hang forever festooned in their orbital majesty. And as I looked at all this, I thought, I must put a roof on this toilet. Damn you, fishy paw! Damn you, son! Damn you! If I still had Mercurial comment of the week, you would win. You would win. I give you the cup of 2 balls. It's comments like this one. I think what is bothering a lot of people is they sub to a channel for one type of content, then they get the sub page flooded with stuff they have no interest in or don't really want. I myself have experienced this, and I had to unsub. And it's that kind of feeling. Angry Joe produced video game content. He wanted to expand outwards, and people got angry. He was still doing the other content, but they didn't like the stuff in between. I think the main problem that guys like Angry Joe and Boogie298888988 have got is that they're professional YouTubers who sometimes moan about how hard it is to be a professional YouTuber. And I think the fact is that the people out there doing really hard jobs take offence. But it doesn't alter the fact that really hard jobs, doing what these YouTubers do, does take time. And time is the most important commodity. The most important commodity. Above gold, above silver, above platinum, above King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard albums. Time is everything. So when these people moan, it's quite often they're moaning because they feel that their time isn't being appreciated. Angry Joe has admitted today that the worst thing he did recently was put out a schedule video. Schedule? Schedule. Oh God, let me get started on that. Podrick told me which one was the right one for me to use. I've forgotten. So this is the video where Angry Joe set out a schedule of what he was going to do, and he said he'd do 2 of his big reviews, his time-consuming 100-hour plus reviews a month. He'd do 4 movie reviews every month. He'd do 4 Let's Plays every month, and this video is basically setting out to try and counter some of the criticism he was getting. Look at it. He's also got ones that he just fits in around it, game previews, board game reviews. I remember watching this at the time, thinking, what you're setting out is impossible, mate. Totally impossible. Now, look at it. More. Extras, more. Look how much stuff he wanted to do. He's scheduling it all out per day. I watched it and I thought, that's impossible, mate. Absolutely impossible. But I understood what he was trying to do, really hard jobs. And I tried to do the same thing a couple of days ago where I said, I'm going to carry on this 30-day thing and I'm going to have a new goal this time. This time it's going to be fitness orientated and I'm going to run and I'm going to do weights and we're going to be together and we're going to have collective outcomes, collective goals, and you're going to have to watch with me because I'm going to entice you in and ensnare you because it's another 30-day thing that you can't help but watch. But I realised on day 2 during my depressive video yesterday, which I even made black and white because it was so depressive, I realised straight away that some things in life are just unachievable and you've just got to admit it. And Joe today basically said, I'm wrong, I was wrong to do this, but his fans, his subscribers, are up in arms and they're all unsubbing. I think there's nothing wrong with trying to have goals, and even he's professional and I'm just doing it as a hobby, but trying to have goals and something that inspires you and something that kind of drags your ass through this. But it's also good to be realistic. Very realistic. YouTube, as it is right now, is probably a bit of a fad, like MySpace and SoundCloud and whatever before it. But there's a few facts here. Fact number 1. YouTube creators spend hours and hours of their time creating videos. Fact number 2. The average person who watches said YouTube videos will never appreciate that those videos took hours to make. Fact number 3. The person who spends hours making the videos must never complain about it, because fact number 4, the average person who watches a YouTuber complain about how long it takes them to make videos will just hate them for it. And like I say, I'm just commenting as a casual observer, standing back and looking on as these people battle it out. Creator versus fans, creator versus subscribers. It's all a bit sad, really, because these people are just chucking out stuff for free. And all you've got to do is not watch it. It's easy. YouTube is nothing like TV, I now appreciate. I used to spend hours trying to make videos that resembled a TV program in some way. I was doing album reviews and Saturday variety shows, and every time I did those things, they would get less views than just talking shit to the camera like I am now. And it's because, as another video I watched today pointed out, it was either Boogie or Angry Joe, you can compare YouTube to TV all you want, but if you turn on your TV to watch Big Brother or EastEnders or Pop Idol or whatever, and instead of the episode that you're waiting for, the cast of that program just sit around a table and talk shit to the camera, you'd probably be disappointed. That's pretty much taking what they said today on one of these channels word for word. That's not my thing. But I watched them say that and I thought, you're right, you know. You're right. That's why treating YouTube like TV does fail. And that's why YouTube is kind of set up for this. When it started, it was YouTube. It was you. You put your videos out there. You. As amateurish as you want. And some of that still stands in the fact that I can do this now. But you get the feeling, you get the sense, you get the vibe that YouTube is heading somewhere else. They want to be more like Amazon Prime or Netflix. And that can only mean the death of channels like this one. The likes of Angry Joe have still got a chance, but he has to upload every day. I can see he's probably just tearing his hair out. I suppose it gets difficult as well when you do get successful on YouTube, when you're making like £1 million a month or whatever they make. Because at that point, you're then a millionaire. And then you've got to wonder why, as a millionaire, given that I've told you time is the most valuable commodity you'll ever own, as a millionaire, you kind of achieved your goal. You can do anything you want. As a millionaire, do you still want to sit in a room and talk to a camera? It's like a defeating prophecy, isn't it? I didn't really have a lucid point there. But just to end this video, if I could just make myself a little bit more concise. I have set out some things that I want to do with my channel. And I may have built up hopes in a lot of respects. And then I may have dashed them because I appreciate, on a far lesser scale than Angry Joe, I appreciate that even when you try to force yourself to do things by creating reasons to do it and creating schedules, the fact is that if you push yourself too hard, whether you've got £1 or £1,000,000, you will fail. Because whether you've got £1 or £1,000,000, time is still your most valuable commodity, and you will fail. You will fail. There you go. I don't know what to title this video. I might try calling it the same as other people are calling it. What have we got there? The Angry Joe Show versus subscribers debacle. I might call it that, to fish for views. Yeah, I might call it that, to fish for views. Yeah, alright. Okay, my Mercurial mob. My mercenaries. Over and